Welcome back. You're watching NHL Tonight. The Panthers in the Stanley Cup Final for the second consecutive year, taking down the Rangers in 6 games. In the Eastern Conference Final, you can see the series comparison here, outscoring them 16-12. The biggest difference, though, special teams. Look at the Panthers, 5 for 19, and look what their PK did, holding the Rangers to just 1 power play goal in those 16 games, or 6 games, I should say. Here's Mika Zibanejad on coming up short of the Stanley Cup Final this year.
I don't think anyone expected anything easy, but I thought we try to stay the course. We try to do the things that we've done all year. I don't think we've wavered in how we play, but that's sports. Sometimes you're going to, as much as you want it, as much as you work for it, sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Szczesny, I mean, he was our best player by a significant margin in the playoffs. And I thought there was one guy that I thought needed to hear that right after the loss to kind of keep his spirits up. But I just told him he was our best player. He deserved better.
To put ourselves in a position to have an opportunity to win that Stanley Cup, we felt a little short, but for sure that's experience we can take and bring back next year and be even better.
Well, it's the hardest trophy in sports to win, and this is the reason why you start to find out what guys we're playing with and dealing with when they finally get eliminated. Here's some of the injuries that the Blue Shirts had. Adam Fox had re-aggravated that knee injury in the first round. Jacob Trouba recovering from a broken ankle that he suffered in March. Ryan Lindgren playing with a cracked rib, and Jimmy Vesey separating that shoulder. We didn't see him after the Eastern Conference Final Game 2 against the Florida Panthers. Look, I mean, it takes a lot of luck and a lot of it's a war of attrition this time of year, and the Rangers certainly playing less than 100%.
And I listened to Paul Maurice in the interview earlier say that his team's completely healthy and whatever else. That's a little bit of a lie.
Yeah.
There's not one.
Well, we saw what they dealt with last year.
There's not one player that says, "Hey, I'm full go. I feel great."
Yeah.
You know, everybody has some sort of nagging thing, and the thing that I respect so much, and I still remember it when at the end of seasons, is you look around the locker room. And you say, man, am I proud to play with that guy? Because I know what he played with to be part of our attempt to try to win a Stanley Cup. So these guys from the Rangers, the worst day of the year is having to answer questions.
Yeah.
You know, what happened? How come they beat you? And you're completely demoralized. You left everything you had on the ice. And you're just looking to take a deep breath and kind of regroup. And it's really, really difficult to have to answer those questions. And those 4 injuries that we saw, there's at least a handful of other significant ones that we'll never know about. But those Warriors that were out there battling, trying to do everything they could to win, came up a little bit short.
Well, that's the thing. They won 55 games this year. That's a franchise record. That's no small feat. And they didn't seem like the same team, to me at least, in the second round. Whether it was Adam Fox, just didn't seem to have the same, jump. And obviously he was injured. And even Trouba just seemed to be, not quite himself. Although I guess that injury was back in March, which kind of surprised me. I thought something happened, maybe re-aggravated during the playoffs. Even Lindgren, too. So that was not the team we saw during the regular season. It's unfortunate because they had a great chance to maybe make it to the finals. They didn't. But as you said, Tony, all teams go through it, and it's a war of attrition.
Yeah. But when you look forward, the future certainly looks bright in New York. Igor Shesterkin, one of, if not the best goalie in the world, and he certainly could have and almost did single-handedly take that series. But how about a youngster like Alexei Lafreniere? It just seems like year in and year out, the last 2 years at least, he's getting better and better and better and worthy of that first overall pick. Not everybody comes in and they're a Connor McDavid or an Austin Matthews. This guy, he took some criticism in the first couple of years. But the last 2 years, especially this playoff run, it's his coming out party, it seems like.
I agree with you, totally. You couldn't have said it any better than that. And it's, again, when you're first pick overall and you have the expectations and everybody puts it on you that, okay, here he comes, our savior's finally here. And you're 18 years old. This league isn't friendly to 18-year-olds. It's, you know, we saw Bedard this year have some success, but it's still a long way to go to get to the prime of your career. And I think what we saw in this playoff series in particular, we saw competitiveness. We saw a guy that would go to the net hard and find ways to produce at big moments, and a guy that's playing with a lot of confidence now. So I think the bright spot of the Rangers playoff, obviously we knew Shesterkin was going to be great, but what he did in this playoffs really gives them some confidence going into next season that he's finally arrived.
Yeah, I'll even go back to the regular season. Only 2 guys scored more goals on the Rangers than Lafreniere did, Panarin and Kreider. I think he had 28 this year, which is a career high for him. And I think playing with a guy like Artemi Panarin really helped him. Vincent Trocheck, too. Vincent Trocheck was fantastic. But Panarin, he remembers his first year in Chicago, played with Patrick Kane, and Patrick Kane, you know, helped him win a Rookie of the Year trophy, a Calder trophy, and Panarin actually helped him win a Hart Trophy. That was the year that Patrick Kane won the Hart Trophy as the MVP of the NHL. So I think it helped that Lafreniere played on that line.
That's a great point.
It helped them an awful lot. And you mentioned going to the net. If you can go to the net and you're playing with Trocheck and you're playing with Panarin, you're going to get your fair share of goals. He did. So I loved his regular season. Really liked him in the last 2 rounds of the playoffs. He brought it to another level. He's a good one for a long time.
2 of the last 3 seasons, the Rangers have come up just 2 wins shy of reaching the Stanley Cup Final. So the future is bright. It'll be interesting to see what kind of changes come to the Big Apple.